This is a little life hack, dating hack for the girlies, okay? When a guy asks you for your number when you're out, do not ever give him your number. Because numbers are a lot harder to change and people can do a lot of nefarious things with your phone number. Do not give them your phone number. Instead, give them your Instagram. And when you give them your Instagram, have them give their phone to you. Just tell them I'll type it in. So they'll give their phone to you, and then while you have their phone, look at their explore page. You will see what kind of guy they are. If their explore page is all gooner shit, then you know that's not a good guy for you to entertain. So now he has your Instagram. You can choose whether or not you follow him back. And if you're not interested at all, or he starts harassing you, or you're concerned for your safety, you can block him. And the thing about blocking people on Instagram is it blocks any and every account that they have. So it doesn't matter if they create a new account or if they have burner accounts, it will block those accounts too, which in my opinion is much safer than a phone number.
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
Oh, well, hey there, Matilda. So you want to get right to the snooping from the get-go, huh? Well, that's not at all surprising. It's becoming standard practice to demand even more outlandish things of men, as if this guy buying you dinner somehow entitles you to spy on him or something. But you want to know my take? I personally love this idea. The second this guy notices your pathetic attempt to invade his privacy, he's going to know that you're controlling, narcissistic, and terrible at hiding. And I honestly think you gotta get on this while you still can, sister. I mean, think of the time savings. You're cutting out the middleman and passing your red flags on to the last group of men who find you tolerable enough to pork. So go forth with my blessing, Matilda. Ruin thy life with my lack of sincerest compliments.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle. Bye-bye.
I feel like I just want a man to put effort in for a first date. Matched with this guy, and he's very much my type. Very successful career, very cute, very sweet. And we chatted a little bit, and again, I don't like chatting very much before a date. I just want to go on the date and learn about you there. And we were talking, I love to walk. We were talking about that a little bit, and he was like, we should go on a walk sometime. And I was like, not for a date though. I don't know. I just that feels weird. So I was like, yeah, maybe for a second or third date. Kind of being cheeky a little bit. He was like, LOL, walks are off limits for first dates. And I was like, I mean, kind of. Am I being high maintenance? I was like, I don't know, I'm just more of a drinks/coffee person for a first date. Not even coffee, because that's just, I mean, coffee is a date, but take me out.
No.
I hate to break it to you, sister, but you literally just said the reason why men aren't putting in any more of this so-called effort of yours. By saying that walking is a lazy date, you're telling these men that you just don't care about them. If you actually cared about the guy, you wouldn't care if you got to go out for a walk with him. If anything, you'd be excited to have one-on-one time with the guy, but that's not what's happening here. You want the date, not the man taking you out on the date. You want the free meals, the excuse to wear nice clothes, and people gawk at you in a strange form of jealousy, and just to have that movie moment that's virtually impossible for you. Any man who hears this is going to know what he's in for if he talks to a woman like you. So my suggestion is to give up the attitude, go outside and take a walk. You need the sunlight, so feet, you better start a marching.
There's the door. Why don't you check it out?
I think I just came up with the single most genius way to motivate yourself if nothing else is working. Honestly, I feel like a lot of the motivation you hear, the Mel Robbins stuff, gets old after a while. One thing I've been telling myself to motivate myself to get my life together is, would I get the ick if a man did this? Ouch. It hurts when you tell yourself that. So I'll give you an example. I am about $10,000 in debt right now. I got a divorce. I had to move. My life imploded. So it kind of makes sense. A really hard time getting myself out of the hole. And honestly, I've done a little bit of reckless spending. So before I buy anything, I've been literally telling myself, would I get the ick if a guy I was talking to was just totally willy-nilly with his money, totally out of control with his spending habits, and just impulsively bought whatever he wanted?
All right, let me see if I can get this straight here. You want to get out of massive debt, not because it'll make your life easier or because you'll be free of something that will follow you for the rest of your life, but because you want to spite men who don't pay their debts? How in the hell is that supposed to make any sense? Now, we can take one look at you and tell that you are in massive amounts of debt. It's not that hard. The makeup tutorial is a dead giveaway. And the fact that you're divorced in your 30s, and it just tells us that your credit card statements are the stuff that hell is made of. And even if the idea of a dude in crippling debt is a turnoff for you, the idea of you in debt is okay because it allows you to cling on to the fantasy that you'll remarry into money so that dude can live out his dream of being married to a woman who has tens of thousands of dollars worth of crippling debt.
To me, there is nothing hotter than someone who's disciplined with their money, who has a vision, who has a plan, who has goals for the future.
Liar, liar, liar.
I am trying to become the person I want to date. I can't expect to attract someone in my life if I'm out of control with the habits in my life that I want in a partner. Really apply to any area of your life. Eating, spending. If you're mindlessly scrolling on TikTok, like, would you get the ick if a guy you're talking to is scrolling on TikTok for 8 hours a day? Like, you would. And let me know if this helps you because it has really helped change my life, honestly.
I don't think any of that's true.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, sister, and that's because the modern woman has the ultimate justification to do all of the things that dudes do to turn you off.
Shut up! This is totally different!
It's just for the girlies. That's why you can't afford $2,000 worth of makeup, but it's different to put it on the credit card because you're feeling a little blue and the makeup will perk you up a little bit. It's different when you doom scroll on TikTok for 8 hours because you need to relax and you deserve a little me time. And lest we forget, paying back those debts of yours is different for you because life is so hard for women out there. That's why your saying won't work for you at all. You live your life by the double standards that you set for us, and that's why you'll never be the person that you want to marry. Men don't really have icks, and there's no real dignity to be had in it, but if we did have one, that would be a woman who holds us to the standards that she refuses to hold for herself.
You know that. Of course I do, sir. Everybody knows that. Of course we do, sir!
Okay, listen, I want to make something very clear here. I am not addicted to chocolate, but chocolate is addicted to me. A very good example of this is somehow, randomly, don't know how this happened, these Dubai chocolate bars from TikTok shop ended up in my mailbox. How weird is that?
I can see behind your shirt!
Hey lady, you really need to be careful when it comes to making a video where you actively talk about Dubai and chocolate in the same sentence. But then again, it's not surprising that you're doing it. Just so you know, there's better and less stinky ways to make money in this world. And I would help you out, but I really don't want to. I got a question from a fine member of the bounty board that needs answering. David Small asks, Dear Locke, I took the subway to France and the EU tube went nuts. Next thing you know, I'm on planet Mumborbs. There's a lot of aliens and they're all playing Taylor Swift. And the EU tube algorithm announced Shadowban Station, a dead end. Locke, what are your rates for rescuing me from Shadowban Station? Shadowban Station? You know, I'm awfully sorry, sir, but I think you're mistaken. The Shadowban Station isn't real. YouTube is a firm believer of freedom of speech and social discourse being the key to preserving democracy, okay? The only people who believe in the Shadowban Station are just butthurt content creators who need to stop being noobs and just get good. You're talking crazy talk conspiracy theories that have been spread by disinformed, rusky misinformation mongers out of Russia, okay? The idea that the EU tube bans content creators for virtually no reason is just crazy. You're crazy, so stop being crazy, okay? Your thumbnails just need improving and your content just needs to get better. That's literally all you need to do. So stop acting like there's a cabal of uber powerful people who meddle in the progress of content creators they don't like. You hear me, YouTube? The Shadowban Station isn't real, okay? It doesn't exist. Okay, the algorithm's looking away. That bought us a few minutes. Now, if you want to escape Shadowban Station, then you're going to need to listen carefully. Many people have tried to escape. This place is just purgatory on Earth, all right? For guys like me, there's no way of being truly free of their grasp. Once you're in, and there is no going back. Now, escaping Shadowban Station for you ain't going to be a trip to Cleveland. A lot have tried. A lot of dudes pull what's known as the Sarah Connor. They'll tell the overlords exactly what they want to hear and pray that it works out. But some of them end up losing their minds with the weight. They're taking hostages bridges with syringes full of drain cleaner. I've seen it happen. It's not a pretty sight. Now, you're a civilian. Your chances of breaking out of here are easier, but you gotta act fast, so here's what you do. The next time a train comes by to drop off a batch of wrong thinkers, you gotta run aboard that train and make your way to the driver's compartment. Once you're there, lock the doors and pretend like you're going to steal the train. And when I say pretend, I mean it. Do not steal the train. Just make the noises as if your train is moving. You'll want to push the buttons, flip the switches, and turn the dials, but don't do any of that. Just pretend to. And also make sure you're humming some kind of a generic movie soundtrack. Now you're going to see an old school radio handset. Play with it if you want to, but do not communicate with headquarters. Just pretend like you're going to. And after a while, you'll get a call from them asking you to stop because you're being annoying. Now is your chance. Give yourself a cool code name and give this guy the gist of a basic Filipino mercenary movie plot. Pretend like you're an ex-Green Beret Special Forces Vietnam vet with nothing to lose, who's hauling munitions to the local rebels as part of your CI-backed mission to overthrow the tyrannical government of a fictional Southeast Asian country. You not only need a cool call sign, but you're also going to need a badass real-life name, like Kirk Stryker or Blake Storm. You'll need to keep this up for at least 2.5 hours until the chief of the Shadow Band station signs the paperwork to open up an interdimensional rift to drop you off at a random sector in the universe. Once there, hitchhike your way back to Earth and you'll be home free. I wish I could join you, but I'm way too hot down here. If I back you up, we'll both be stuck here for life. But don't worry about me. Just escape. Escape and tell them, okay? Tell them all. Don't let them forget about us. Oh, shit, the algorithm's coming back. Just play along and act smart. And that's why talking about Shadow Band Station is nothing but hate speech. Now get out of my sight. You hear me? Get out of here, Dusk Ranger. Get out of here and don't come back. And Godspeed, Dusk Ranger. Godspeed. And as we all try to get the non-existent ban lifted, I would like to take a second to thank David Small for his question. It's always a pleasure to be able to make these segments, and I hope that this clears up our little mishap. And of course, thank you to all of the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon for their continued support of this channel through every single thing, thick and thin, no matter the shenanigans. The Bounty Board, you guys are absolutely fantastic, and thank you very much. All hail! And if you want to ask me a question, feel free to check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where I have a specialized tier where you can ask me a question about the lock first, and I'll make up a segment for you right on the spot. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment down below for you.
One of my favorite things to do is to be an incel to the incel. I love, like, making a man shut the fuck up. You know? Like, my favorite thing is whenever a man is so utterly misogynistic, and I am so utterly a feminist, but I'm very, like, kind of quiet about it. Like, in real life, I kind of just, like, zip my lip and then just not say anything until it's time to say something. I am like their favorite thing, but then I also boggle their mind. Like, they truly hate to see me coming, because how dare I be a mom? How dare I be 35 with a 17-year-old child? How dare I be this educated? How dare I be this well-spoken? You know, how dare I look this good? They hate it.
Well, it's less to do with you being a single woman and everything to do with you being mean-spirited. Now, the word incel is just a buzzword with no tangible definition. It's pretty much just a word that you use to describe anybody who disagrees with you, and you're clearly uneducated because your first instinct is to try and... You know what? I'm not even sure I know what in the hell you're trying to talk about here. What kind of self-respecting man resents you for the things that you mentioned? We honestly don't care about your spawn or that piece of paper you spent $82,000 to prove to the world that you've been indoctrinated, and we take no offense to any of the crap that you might own. We're just calling you out for your shit attitude and your condescending demeanor. You act like you're better than us, and we have no problem calling you out for your insane hypocrisy as well as your pathetic attempts at insults.
I boggle their mind because I have had everything working against me, and then I still came out on top. You know, one time I dated this guy. I called him out for like liking half-naked girls' photos on Instagram. I like to date a guy with integrity, and like this was not it, okay? I was like, hey, I noticed that you were doing this. I would really appreciate it if you stopped doing it. And he was like, I just feel like I can't, you know, be myself. If I was to do anything like that again, like, you would just break up with me. And I looked at him straight dead in his eyes, and I was like, that's exactly what would happen. If I saw it happen again, after I've told you right now to stop, I would definitely break up with you. I don't have self-confidence issues. There will be another man, okay? Getting a man is the easiest thing to do. And he broke up with me.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
All right, so you're porking a dude who likes hotter chicks on Instagram. You gave him an ultimatum and he broke up with you, not the other way around. So where exactly does the mind-boggling come in here? Because the only thing that's boggling my mind is how you think you've succeeded in the mind-boggling art of mind-boggling. If anything, this dude boggled your mind because he broke up with you instead of changing to be with an ungrateful hussy with daddy issues and a disturbing amount of reality television lore. You look mind-boggled because he beat you to the punch and ultimately had the last laugh. And I really don't think you know anything about what a boggled mind would even look like, even though you're living with one right now.
But it was funny because whenever he came back around, you know, I kind of entertained it for a little bit just because I wanted to see, you know? I be doing red flaggy shit, so, like, you know, don't judge me. And I remember him talking about, like, getting married, right? Love bombing. But I was like, you know, I'm just gonna entertain it. This is gonna be funny. Like, I want to see where this conversation goes. And then he was like, yeah, like, I believe in, you know, combining our finances. And I was like, oh, this is my time to shine. This is my time to shine. You think I'm dumb? You think I'm one of those girls? It's like, yes, of course. No, mama's got a brain. Mama's got a brain and she uses it. And I was like, I believe in a prenup. And he was like, what? And he was just like, what do you mean? And I was like, I can't even trust you long enough for you to like half-naked girls' photos on Instagram. And you want me to trust you for something as big as my finances? And he shut it the real fast. Motherfucker stupid. Are you what? What the what? Oh my god, get out of here with that bullshit.
Aren't you lying? No. In fact, aren't you a liar? No more questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, that didn't happen, sister. What happened was you got back with this guy because he was good in bed and you were desperate. After the appropriate amount of porking, you brought up the subject of marriage. And he said if he were ever to get married, he would want a prenup. And then you freaked out because you have no idea how a male mind works. You flipped the gender and assumed that dudes would be offended if you brought up the subject of prenuptial agreements. And the sad part is, all of you hive-minded freaks all think the same way. And again, I have no idea what this has to do with being incels to the incels. I mean, I'm telling you, you're trying to achieve the impossible, sweetheart. You actually have to be educated and actually have to be able to speak coherent English to have a slight chance of that fantasy happening for you. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.